Would you like to come out today? Oh, yes, please, said Edward. So they lit his fire, made lots of steam, and Edward puffed away.
I'm really running out of ideas for these intros. Let's just get into it. Fact 1. The engines of the NWR all acquired numbers right after Percy arrived, as now that the railway actually had engines that were in the constant state of going to be sold or taken back to the mainland, Sir Topham deemed it necessary to start making an actual numbering system. Fact 2. There are actually 2 viaducts on the NWR, one just before Wellsworth and one outside Croft. The Wellsworth one, nicknamed the Big Dipper, is usually the one that engines and crews mean when they say the viaduct. The second one is smaller, but still just as impressive. It's just before Cronk Station. There's an urban legend that tells of a steam engine leaving its doom in the river below, but that's just a myth. Right? Fact 3. Long before the railway arrived, the residents of Dickerstown would hold a huge bonfire night celebration in the town square. This tradition continued until Vickerstown Station was built, as then they held it just outside the station yard so the engines could join in. Fireworks are usually launched from boats in the harbor. Many of the engines look forward to this night. Not as much as the Christmas party, though. Fact 4. The NWR has 4 major liveries: Cobalt Blue, Forest Green, Daisy Yellow, and Apple Red. Daisy Yellow is sort of a homage to Highland Railway Yellow, of course more simplified and with red stripes to fit with the other liveries. It was first worn by one of the engines on the Peel Godred branch, who was from the Highland Railway. Apple Red was first worn by Barry, and is a homage to LMS Red. He was tired of wearing black, so he decided to take inspiration from his LMS cousins. The Diesels also wear these liveries, with yellow fronts. They also have a livery they can choose called Moon Grey, which is quite similar to BR Rail Freight Grey. As one would expect, these liveries are not the only ones that the engines of the NWR can choose. Many engines wear the liveries of their old railways, such as Duck and Oliver. Engines that were in the ROD and War Department often choose to wear their old liveries, such as Neville. Fact 5. On the topic of liveries, the engine who changes their livery the most often is Daisy. She's worn everything from BR Blue to Southern Green. She's even worn Santa Fe Red. Of course, these liveries aren't exactly like the real ones, just the same colors using the paint of the other liveries. Topham isn't going to import paint from America just for Daisy to wear it for a month. Fact 6. The post train still runs on the Farquhar, Normanby, and Peel Godred branches. This is due to a number of reasons. The Farquhar branch still runs it due to the roads around Ulstead and Farquhar being quite steep and narrow. And during tests, it was found that the train was faster than the post office's vans. This made Percy quite happy, as you would imagine. The Normanby branch continues to run it due to the roads not only being steep, but not in the best shape. The Peel Godred branch is the most direct connection to the rest of the island, so it still runs it. As you'd imagine, there are little to no roads in the center of the island, given there's several mountains there. To increase efficiency, when a post train reaches the end of its route, the post vans are coupled to the rear of the last passenger train of the night. The vans are then taken to Barrow, where the post is sorted. Fact 7. You may have heard of Annie and Clarabelle, but have you heard of Marcy and Darcy? They're the coaches that Ryan works with on the Normanby branch. Unlike Annie and Clarabelle, they're bogie coaches, built by the NWR in the 30s. Darcy is the brake coach, and Marcy is the composite. Fact 8. Speaking of coaches, there are 3 kinds of coaches on the NWR: mainline coaches, branch line coaches, and specialty coaches. The mainline coaches are made up of ones from many different railways, including the Southern Railway, bought cheap in the railway's earlier days, Mark I coaches, purchased off of BR, and coaches built by the NWR at Covid's Gate. The branch line coaches mainly consist of ones either built by the NWR or its predecessors, which may be either bogie coaches or four-wheeled. These are all fitted with push-pull equipment, the same as Annie and Clarabelle. Duck and Oliver's auto coaches also fall into this category. The specialty coaches are ones that don't quite fit into any of the other categories. Coaches such as Old Slow Coach and Victoria, who are used at special occasions, fall into this category. Fact 9. The newest station on the Fact Controllers Railway is, funnily enough, Kirk Ronan. Despite being one of the first towns to receive a standard gauge rail connection, thanks to the S&M, the current station there was built in 1979 when the branch line was restored. The old station had long ago been abandoned, and barely anything was left of it when it was decided the branch would be reopened. Fact 10. When asked, you will most often find the most disliked station on the Underground network by engines and crews is Balladrin. When heading towards Kilburn, the station is just before a hill, so it can be quite annoying to gain speed. Don't forget you can ask me questions about my AU if you have them. I nearly ran out of ideas for facts for this one, so any questions would be most appreciated. Don't feel pressured to ask me though, it's no big deal, of course. This is EdwardsDayOut, signing off.